Hi guys. So today I'm going to show you guys how to actually use your variables in your calculations or any of your output statements. Okay, so let's say we wanted to declare a variable called grade1. So int grade1, of course we want it to be an integer, equals 90. Okay, and then we wanted to declare another variable, int grade, or you know what, we can actually put them both on the same line if we add a comma and then say grade 2 equals 100, for instance. What this does is basically, it's a shorter way of doing it. All what's happening is that, grade 1 and grade 2 are both defined as integers, okay? And they're both given values. Anyways, we have two variables and we want to add them and show the result on the screen. So we can do this, int sum, and then don't give it a value, and go on and say sum equals, now grade 1 plus grade 2. That's how you would write this equation right here. Okay, you're telling the computer, right here you're telling it make a variable called sum and allow it to store integers only, and then you're telling it here let the value of sum be grade 1 plus grade 2. And since grade 1 plus grade 2 evaluates to an integer, it'll allow you to store it in sum. Okay, which it does come to be a integer after you add them. So 100 plus 90 is 190. Anyways, and then we want to show that on the screen, and we all know that the only way to do that, or not the only way of course, but one of the ways to do that is cout and sum. Okay, let's see what happens. Start without debugging, yes, and you can see that it's 190. That's the result, 190 right there. So this is basically grade 1, which is 90, plus grade 2, which is 100. Both of them are stored, or the sum is stored in the word sum, or the variable sum, and the variable sum, the value of the variable sum is printed out. Okay? Okay, so what else can we do with this? We can also say we want to get the average. Okay, so AVG can equal sum over 2. Because sum right here has the value of grade 1 plus grade 2, so that basically would give us the sum of the two grades. And if we wanted to find the average, you all know the equation for that. It's just the sum of all your grades over the number of them, and in this case there are only two, grade 1 and grade 2, so this will be the average. Another way of doing it is, instead of sum, just type in actually the grade 1 plus grade 2. This expression, you type it in right here, and it gives you, this is going to evaluate to 190, and then over 2 will become 95. And instead of couting the sum, you can actually cout the average. Okay, and then you debug it and start without debugging, and yes. And there were errors, and that is because of, because see, average right here is an undeclared identifier. So all we got to do is say int right here. So that makes it int average equals this. Or we can do int average, semicolon, and then say average equals this and that. So in this case it's going to work. So there you go. Problem solved. And what you have is a 95. And that is your average. Okay. So what if you wanted to print like the sum, like say sum equals, and then on the next line we wanted it to say average equals. All you got to do for that is, so sum equals, right, and then caret sum end L, and then cout. We can do it on the same line again, but it's just better to do it this way so that you know what you're doing and which is on which line. So here you have average equals AVG, and then E and L to separate it from the other statement. debug and start without debugging, and there you go. Here it is. It says sum equals 190 and average equals 95. Now these words sum and average, you can put whatever you want. All you got to do is change the text over here. And even for the variable, they don't have to be sum and average. I hope you know by now that these are only identifiers or variables. You can change them to anything you want. One other thing I wanted to mention is that you can never store, like if you said int equals sum, you cannot say sum equals call it, because sum is now an integer. It's defined as an integer, okay? Even if this variable was called name, but it's defined as an integer or declared as an integer, you cannot store a string in it, okay? That's another thing to keep in mind. One more thing I wanted to tell you guys is that remember that whenever we want to use the type string, we have to include the library right here, #include string. And if you include it without using it, that's no problem. You can just always include this like that and just keep it there. Okay? Okay, that's it for today. Watch my next video for more stuff on variables and using everything together. Next tutorial, we're going to actually just make an example of a small program and, you know, probably introduce something new. Probably cin. Bye.